Yeah. That's what I was gonna do.
Okay, which one?
2.
What?
Where are we?
On page 10.
Oh, you're on page 10.
I have no number 2. I got 29. I got 30.
Do 29, let's do them all, let's do the whole page. Page,
Yeah.
what?
Start at 1 and go to
Just go
32.
slow.
What page are we on?
10.
Page 10. There are 8 cars parked in a row.
Okay.
Determine the number of possible arrangements. So we're arranging of these 8 cars. If, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to put 8 spots here. Okay, there's your 8 spots to park. Mrs. Jones must always park in the 3rd spot. So going on to your 3rd spot, how many options do I have to put a person right there? 1, because it's Mrs. Jones, that's it. Mr. Rodriguez must always park in the last spot. So in the last position, how many options do I have? 1. Now, I got what left? 6. So how many options do I have here? 6. How many options here? 5. How many options here? 4, 3, 2, 1. Or I could have just said all of this is what in the shortcut? 6 factorial. So you could do all that separately, or you could be like 6 factorial times 1 times 1. $720. Okay, Avery has 4 adventure books, 5 mystery, 1 comic. Determine the number of ways he can arrange all of the books on his shelf if each type must be grouped together. So this means all of the adventure books I have to keep together. Okay? All of the mystery have to be beside each other, and obviously there's just 1 comic. This is which method? Group arrange, and then what's going on within groups? Remember that style? So, how many groups do I have? 3. Because I could have put adventure, mystery, comic. I could go adventure, comic, mystery, right? That's 3. Then, what could I do within the adventure books? I could move the adventure books around within themselves. What about the mystery books? 5. And the comic book, I guess, I don't know, that's just 1. So, okay, do you understand why it's multiplying versus adding? These things are all happening. Okay? They're all happening all at the same time. 17,000 and change? Is that what we got? Number 31. Determine how many 3-digit, so 3-digit, that's what a 3-digit number is. Odd number, what does an odd number mean? How do you know if a number is an odd number?
It ends in an odd number?
It ends in something like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. That's how you know it's odd, right? And how do you know if something is less than 300?
first number is less than.
The first number has to be less than 3. Okay, so you have to know some common sense about numbers, and I guess to do this question. Okay, I'm going to do different cases. So when I do different cases, this could have happened or this could have happened. So what could be situation number 1? What could it start with? Okay, so case 1, it starts with a 1. Or, what's the other situation that could have happened then? Starts with a 2. Okay, now I'm drawing my 3 digits because I'm going to talk about what's my options. And what kind of math should I do in the middle if I'm doing this situation or this situation? Add, because they're not something that's happening at the same time. It's that either this or this separately would have happened. Okay, so if it starts with a 1, I have one option to put something there because it's a 1. Okay, ready? I'm going to cover up the 1. Okay, good. I've covered up the 1. So you can't, because it says repetition. Repetition is not allowed, so I can't use it. Okay, go to the end. Using these digits, how many of those digits could you put in the end? 2, because you could either put a 3 or a 5, right? So you have 2 options. Okay, pretend you used a what? A 5? Is that okay? I'm going to cover up the 5. Sort of. My fingers are too fat. How many options do you have left? 4 digits are left. Okay, now you ready? If it starts with a 2, how many options would that be on the first blank if it's starting with a 2? Just one option, right? Okay, this time I'm just going to cross it off because I don't need to look at it anymore. So if it starts with a 2, now I can't use the 2. Go to the end. How many possible numbers could you put at the end now? You have 3 options here. Because you could go the 1, 3, or the 5. Okay? Now, I'm just going to pretend I used a 5. How many options are left for me now on this? I have 4 digits left to pick from. So this one was an 8. And in this situation, there was 12.
But isn't 4 an odd? I mean, an even number?
I'm not using a 4. I'm saying that there's 4 options for me. In this position right here, I could have put a 1, a 3, a 4, or 6, or whatever, like that. I'm not putting the numbers. I'm just, these are representing the number of options. Okay, the last one. A committee of 4 people is to be selected from, and you have 6 high schoolers and 5 middle schoolers to pick from. Determine the number of committees possible if you have at least 3 high school students on there. So this is different cases. Okay, so what's the first case? What's on your committee in the first case? If there's 3 high schoolers, slash, how many middle school people would have to be on that committee? 1. Or, what else would be possible? 4. Because this says at least 3, so you could have more than 3. So you could have 4 high schoolers. And if you put 4 high schoolers on there, what would you need for middle schools? None. You don't need any middle schoolers then. And that's it for the cases. Okay, ready? Which letter would I use in this whole thing? A P or a C? C. So I'm going to choose 3 high schoolers from how many options of high schoolers? 6. And so I'm doing a multiply because this is on the same committee at the same time. I need 1 middle schooler from 5 options. Or another committee which is at a different time. So I add, are we okay understanding? Multiply this, add. And then this would be 6, choose 4. Okay? If you would like, you can do this 5, choose 0, but you don't need to attach it because it's just a 1, by the way. Okay, so you can multiply that all, I think, together. So 100. And just that, you don't need to type that in. So 115.